Okay, welcome back. We're ready to start hooking up our vacuum hose now. And what I have here is it's a Rowdy Roman vacuum boom system. He's a guy that sells his stuff on Etsy. He makes all kinds of stuff for Onefinity and a bunch of other CNCs, and even I think he makes some stuff with some lasers now too. So this is something I purchased from him. And this right here, I'll show you that in a minute, because I want my vacuum system to come out the back of the router, because obviously I'm going to be filming, so I don't want the hose right here in the way. So I need this to come out the back. And the way I was going to set it up, which I'll show you that when we get to the back, there's no good way to attach the hose. And he came up with this little device right here for me. I really appreciate that, and I think it's going to work great. We'll hook that up when we get to the back. So this piece right here mounts kind of like right here. You can't see that. It mounts on top of the rail. I'm going to put mine in that back corner back there. And then you just basically reassemble it on here. And then these start coming in here. And they all fit kind of loose, but they're designed that way. And it's basically so it will rotate around. Hard to get on with one hand. It'll rotate around with your boom. So I just kind of want to show it to you first. Next thing we need to do, so before you start hooking this thing up, I'm going to get all this stuff out of the way. You need to bring your router to the farthest point away from where I'm going to hook up in that back corner here, so you need to start with your router up here on this corner here. So we're going to go ahead and bring the router up here. Get it in this farthest corner away. And that's just to make sure you got enough hose and that you're not going to get any pinching. Okay, so that's as far away as the router will ever get from where that boom system is. So I'm going to reset up and we'll start connecting it back there. We're ready to hook this up. This is pretty tight back here for me. I've got my laser table right next to me here. So this thing here, it's got one screw right here. So it just sits, and there's one open hole on the top of this bracket. So basically you just sit that right on there, screw it down in that open hole. And if you watch stuff on his website, he's real careful, tells you do not over tighten this thing. Just needs to be snug, don't over tighten it or you will end up breaking it. All the stuff's 3D printed, but it's pretty good quality. And Peter at Rowdy Roman, he's got so many different accessories, so you really ought to go check out. He's rowdyroman.com, and then he's also got an Etsy shop. And if you just search Rowdy Roman, you will find it. So there's, on these things here, so I've got the clips. You want these little channels to be up on these things. And there's two different versions of this. One comes with the clips, one doesn't. And the little slots that are in here, you can run zip ties to hold your hose down. I have the clips for mine, so I'm going to go that route. So you put that one in. The two long ones are 10 inches, I think, and the last one's 6 inches. Put the 10 inch slot to the outside. And then you put the 6 inch one in. I'm going to go ahead and leave that one in. That one's pretty stiff on the end. But go ahead and put that one in. And this one doesn't matter. Well, I guess it's only got a hole in one side, so can only go one way. So that goes like that. And then these little clips, you just spread them out, and then they snap right down inside there. They just snap right over the edge. And I'm going to be real close on my hose fitting underneath this. If it doesn't fit, I may have to trim one of these pipes down like an inch or so, but I think it's going to fit. I don't know why that one doesn't fit. There it goes. I think I was just putting it on there wrong. That one fit on there just fine. Okay. So there all that is. So now we're going to go back. We're going to reset up and we'll hook up on the back of the router onto the dust boot itself. And then we'll route our hose back up through here. Okay, so here we are back at the behind the router. And so this is an adapter. I think I got this from Onefinity, the people that make the Dust Devil system. This was the one thing. So you know, we saw earlier in the last video where you got the piece coming out, the adapter that comes out of the back of the dust boot, and I couldn't find anything that would work to get this thing 90 degrees up, which is what I wanted. I ended up finding this adapter from Onefinity System, the same people that make the Dust Devil. So we got that piece, and we got this piece that Peter from Rowdy Roman made for me. And to put that on, what we have to do, we have to take this top plate out, the one that holds down your stepper motor cable and your, I guess it's your router power cable is the other one. So we'll take these two screws out. That cable's tight. So we just pop this thing off. The new one's got the same channels. So basically you just run your cables back through these channels again. Just make sure you get them in there good where they don't pinch. Get that one in there. Oh, you know what? I should have marked that. Let me work my make sure you got enough slack in that cable. When you put this cable in, you want to make sure you got enough slack that if your router is all the way to the bottom, because if you don't, it'll pull it out. So that should be good right there. So now I just got to reline up my holes here. I got to find the holes now. That's going to be the tricky part, seeing the holes without the cables popping back out on me. Trying to slide it around until I find them. Yeah, I'm going to have to look from underneath. I may have to put my cables back in. I wasn't even close. Okay, it's close to the edge there. There we go. All right, that one started. Pop this other one down in here. I'm trying to find good camera viewing angles where you can see what I'm doing on this. Just make sure your cables aren't pinched before you tighten it down too much. And that should be plenty of cable right there for that. We'll go ahead and jog that router back up too before I snug this up too much. Yeah, that's not going to be a problem at all. So we're good to go on that. So go ahead and crank these down pretty good. Okay, so now this piece right here is what's going to help hold my hose on. So I've got this, that piece is going to go that way. That piece goes in there, so this is going to go on here. So I got these little hose clamps. I bought a whole set of these hose clamps off of Amazon. I'll put a link down to in the description for those if you need to get some. This is 2.5-inch hose too. That's also something I got off of Amazon. I wanted the bigger hose, so I got the big Dust Devil, and I got a pretty heavy duty vacuum. I'm using a vacuum for my system. I may upgrade to a real dust collection system later, but for right now I'm going with a vacuum cleaner. So I put this clamp on here. So that hose is snug down on there now. Just run some of my excess hose back over there. I think I got about 30 feet of hose. I got plenty, so I'll cut off what I don't need. So I'm going to take this and I'll stick this back down into my dust boot. I know you can't see that, but that was in there in the other part of the video. And I'm going to kind of hold on to my dust boot so I don't break anything loose. And then basically I'm just going to run this, and I'm going to go ahead and run my router cord because that's going to go through there. I've got some other accessories too that'll end up going through here, but we'll redo those. So basically just take this piece of Velcro and cinch that down. And now all we have to do is just reconnect. So we'll go back to the other side now, and we'll connect this side over the boom, and then this part will be done. We'll be ready to hook up the the actual hook up the dust devil and the vacuum itself to it. I'm going to take this, put this somewhere safe so I don't lose it. I don't know why I would ever need it again, but just in case, I'm going to put this somewhere safe. Okay, we're back to the back again now. So first thing we want to do is take our router cord. Get this tangled over here. And there's a channel. I shouldn't have done the clips yet. So the router cord needs to go under the clips. We can put our clips back on. Now take all the clips back off. Run the router cord under. Okay, sorry, we got a router cord in there. And you want to give that a little bit of slack, but not too much. So then we want to go, I should have been on the other side of that. That's all right. I'll reroute it under the table. So basically just pop that thing in there. And just swing this out to get it in this one. This is going to be the tight one because of the cabinet. There we go. There we go. So I'll tell you what we'll do. I'm gonna reset up at the front of the table. I'm gonna reroute this back over because I'm gonna run this. This is gonna go down here and it's gonna go over to the right side of my table, and that's where my vacuum system is gonna be set up. So I'll reroute that. We'll come back to the front and then we'll jog this thing around and make sure that it all looks like it's gonna stay together and look right. And make sure it's gonna clear my cabinet too. That's a big thing. Okay, so we got everything hooked up. Now we're going to see if it pretty much stays together like we want it to when we move the router around on the table. So let's go ahead and start moving it back. We'll just take it to all four corners of the table here. Looks like it's doing fine so far. And I will Velcro, there's some Velcro for these where that cord goes there, but I'm not going to do that because like I said, I've got two other cords. You'll see that for some accessories. They're going to go on there and I got to add those in, so I'll do all that when I add those accessories. Anyway, so it looks pretty good. Alright man, so the next video I've got a couple accessories I'm going to connect to this thing, and then after that I'll start hooking up my dust collection system. Please like, please subscribe, please share my videos. Thank you.